is Arukh Yardeh Simon Lamadalid Sif Zayin through Tes. This is supplemental day 186 of the Arukh Yomi cycle. Yesh Shayla Bikar Dinze. Now, a question in this primary halacha here of these holes in the trachea. It comes out when we just saw that there's a stringency by holes which do not create a lack of substance in the in the trachea, and over the ones that do create a lack of substance. The where the holes that don't create and there's no substance missing. Marna, we say them start from the rochav, they join up to the width. Klamar the rova cave to the majority of the circumference. It's a very narrow strip, thread, because there's no substance to it. And, without any whips. When there is actually substance missing, have a kisser. Then there's a shear of an isser. So saying that when there's the holes have no kisser and there's no shear, as long as the majority, as long as it would make up the majority of the circumference, whereas the holes which have a substance, which seem to be more severe holes, you have up to an isser. It's well known that if we cut up the size of the isser into small strips, we'll be able to go around many tracheas. The answer is about a kenu. Yes, this is true. Any says that cloud they're not comparable. There's many trachas and there's two different types of trachas. The issue in when the holes have pieces missing. The trachea is a trachea of a trachea which is missing stuff. Shabbat we have Misora, the Kol Shenech Keser. So if the trachea is missing more than this, so Yamus Abachai, the animal die. If it's less than that, the animal survive. There's nothing missing. Ain't a trachea in there. Trachea is not on account of the stuff which is missing. There's nothing missing. But because the trachea has been severed into two separate sections. That's why this trachea only applies when the holes are around the circumference of the trachea, and not the length of the gargaris, horizontally, not vertically. Both where they do have a concern. The trachea is wherever you find the holes. But if you need even if a strip is missing longitudinally, vertically, we have to assess. If you were to round it, have a kiss would be the size of an isser, then it's straightforward. So therefore, I don't know if it's conversely, but in the alternative, that the holes, which do have a concern, are around the circumference of the gargaris, but they don't encompass the majority. Also, there's it in them and in the intact the gargaris between the two of them, by which you'd say asabir hagis batle, that doesn't make up the majority of the circumference. I'm sorry, but and also they don't make a kisser, right? Kosher. It's kosher. Even though if we cut the holes into thin strips, you give them they'll go around several tracheae. Is nothing. When we're talking about the circumference of the it's separate than the concept of chisar. I'll show you it only has to do with separating into two parts. Therefore, none of the hole really may cause any damage if it's less than an isser, right? Only the lowest area where it's actually going to theoretically be part of a severing of the konet. But therefore, from all the damage, it won't be able to surround the majority. right? But chutzim tachtonim in those lower levels, I should say, probably tachtonim is not meduyek, because it can be on whatever level of the holes, less than what's not a problem. Ches, v'komash is by a behemoth, this is by an animal. Both is by birds, yesh b'zedim, other halachas. Shalom, when I ask both of my, what's the story by a bird? V'shiva, the answer, the boy, if I didn't came by a bird, this is the halachas, you you fold it, and you put it on the corner. If it will envelop the majority of the corner, it's trafing, lav, kshev, not kosher. Klomer, meaning, you cut below the holes and on the sides. So you can fold up the strip in which they are. Towards the opening of the corner. You put the place of the holes on top of the corner. And if it envelops between the holes and the holes, HOLES, and the hole, the WHOLE, between the holes, it's no rove corner, most of the corner. I forgot to come out to like a ruba, even though in the holes themselves there is no rove. The treifa. However, the Yeshem Chistorin, so this is something lacking here. I'm come Shem Chistorin, so come Shem Chistorin, the Dinagabema. So that's different. So let's elaborate this a bit more. According to what he's saying by the corner of the bird, I wonder if there's a picture of of this. Yeah, it's kind of weird, and I actually would not have understood it if I didn't look at it. Whatever I was saying before, it's not really correct. So that's actually, you cut it off, right? You cut it out. That area you have to find holes, and you put it, like a patch over here on top of the corner, and you see the pia corner, and you see if it takes up the majority of that cavity, or it doesn't take the majority of that cavity. So that's the fascinating thing. That's the Kamishem Mem Chistorn. Okay, so that's what you do. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so that's again. He says you chukabas are two shame about klape priakone. Menichol and Malkan call it priakone. You call it Ben and Kavim Masholim. Shabay nekel kevas. So kind of that patch now covers most of the cavity of the cover. Kind of Avagam the cover. That's like a ruba, even though the holes themselves don't have a rope. Straightforward. However, Yeshem Chiston, since they have a these are holes that do have a chiston, right? Sorry, these are holes that do have a chiston, so that's how you assess them, and in that manner, okay. And not isser. That's the point. Okay, you don't do isser. You do like the with this patch right there, right? Cut it out, put it like that. See if it's like that, etc. Avakam shemer chiston. Told you don't have chiston. Didn't like a bema. She won the back. They are on a line of a latitudinal line in the circumference. And they cover most of the corner tray for lav ksher not its kosher. The Russian says Rambam as well. Vadish kenu, that's certainly true. When they have something missing, but over the bema can distinguish between over the bema. The zechi somewhat. Zechi some merubah. Evidently, this is by a bird. It has a light. Life force, so therefore, even if it's much less than an Isser, and that whole patch together with the space, together with the flesh, which is not punctured, makes the majority of Kana, it's no good. Avo, as opposed to Beima, where it has to be a whole size of Isser. Avo, Beima, Chisarn, but there's no Chisarn. That trade tables in the where the issue is the severing of the trachea. Mali off Mali Baema. The severing is the same. There's name Shuv Sagaris, Eve Shalichios. Shuv Sachicha. If it's severed, you can't survive. If it's not severed, it will survive. Test Vizelsha Rambam. His language, the Rambam off. The bird of kosher, you makapo or two and a kavim. As long as when you fold over the strip or the holes, sheesh ben chisom, which have a chisom, nichon agay be'kone, put on top of the kone, imchot es rubo, it covers most of the space of the kone. Nevela, it's a nevela, if not kshem, not skosh kashon. Chem is bar l'shon rif, ayin shom, it's rif as well. Fees according to this ankle bo ben shanek of kul keachot, doesn't make a difference if the hole is all in one place. I'm sure it's got carrots. There's a piece of the turkey missing. Ben shanek coming our bay. or there are many of them. Yeshem chisaron ashir, chisaron, even though it's a very small size, but they have a chisaron. Hashir shavels the shear is when it covers most of the cavity of the corner. Avarosh la kasa the shear is a elam in the covering sheyesh behem chisaron. There's only true by holes which have something missing. But one hole, I guess, many holes. It was one hole. There's a piece of the gargeres missing. Have a shield if but then it's also size of Isra. But two is clear, Zakal to the Metro, because of State else, he brings up both pains to the shore. Next gargeres off, if there's something missing in the gargeres, Yeshim, some say the Mishari come over and it's going to be the Kiva. Some say we assess it like a whole kanafe, like a sieve. I guess that piece looks like a sieve. But if you can't large, large needs a large hole. Small animal needs small. If the erech hashir shubahema kisar proportional to what would be an isser by an animal, which is really seems like a tough thing to assess. I gotta show it. But there we're showing that's the brief for Rambam. First opinion is the brief for the Rambam, and Shneich Das Rosh, second was Rosh, and he's going to elaborate on that further when we get to tomorrow.